Story 1. My wife and I sleep in total darkness. But my kids told me that when I'm away overnight, she sleeps with a closet light on, and this has been going on for as long as they can remember. I never knew. Story 2. It feels impossible to sleep with any source of light for me, even when it's a tiny blue dot lit up on my monitor. Just knowing it's there keeps me up. But I've recently discovered sleeping eye masks, and they have changed my life. I thought they were mostly just for cliché Hollywood movies. Story 3. I have to fall asleep with the television on. In complete darkness, my brain's thoughts kick in and take over, which leads to me thinking about the most random things and then being unable to sleep. Story 4. I did, and then I put up glow-in-the-dark stars. So, my room is pitch black because I enjoy the dark, but the stars are there because I got adult money and decided to live my childhood dream. Not like I can even really see them, though, because without my glasses, the faint lights don't do much. Just the thought that counts. Story 5. Nope. Got to have that one tiny light on, because apparently, I am a gremlin and not a human who can handle the dark without imagining a serial killer in every shadow. Story 6. Non-silly answer. I slept in total darkness a couple of times and woke up in the night practically panicking because I opened my eyes and still could not see anything at all. Completely freaked me out. Story 7. No. My neighbor put up a ridiculously bright spotlight that is pointing directly at my window. Even the curtains aren't enough to keep it out completely. Story 8. No, I always need the television on for background noise and some light. I grew up in a very noisy house and am retired military, used to noise when I sleep. I cannot sleep in darkness and absolute quiet because I would just lay there with my mind constantly running to make up for the silence. Story 9. It is probably better to sleep in the dark, but I live in a rough neighborhood, so I am worried about break-ins and emergencies. I keep a lamp on in the living room and bedroom so I can spot anything I need to right away. Story 10. I'm paranoid, so I have a mini lamp hidden from view so it doesn't give me a headache, and I will turn it off every now and then. But yeah, I also have narcolepsy, so I don't know if my opinion even matters. I could fall asleep during a police interrogation. Story 11. Hell no. It's not even a fear of the dark because I use a mask too. But there's no way I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and be completely blind to whatever could be around me. No way. And also, the mask is there so that if I end up waking up with sleep paralysis and start hallucinating, I won't be able to see whatever it is and it won't be as bad. Story 12. I do. My wife cannot sleep unless it's as dark as the inside of a coffin at the bottom of a coal mine at midnight. I am not kidding. Blackout curtains on the 3 windows in our bedroom. Wake up at 2 a.m. and you'd be sure you're dead and in the grave. My continuous positive airway pressure machine has a little blue light to show that it's on and working. She has pasted a tiny black dot over it, so the light from that doesn't bother her. Me? I can fall asleep anywhere at any time. I once fell asleep as an emergency medical technician aboard an ambulance going with lights and sirens down the West Side Highway, which at the time was full of potholes. Story 13. Yes. I cannot sleep with any type of light. It will wake me up. In Spain, every house has rolling shutters that will make any room you want completely dark. It's the thing I miss the most anytime I leave the country. People start using rolling shutters. Story 14. I cannot sleep without the television on. Mostly for the sound because silence is too unnerving for me, primarily due to trauma, and I also have tinnitus, so silence can cause the ringing to start. Story 15. Believe it or not, I have to go to sleep with my television on. The lights are off, but I have a tough time going to sleep without my television on. I do put the sleep timer on, though. Story 16. We have night lights to make going to the bathroom easier. Cats sometimes sleep on the floor, and there is furniture that we didn't want to kick. We try to keep it really dark, but pitch black is dangerous. Story 17. Usually, sometimes I get scared and will turn on the flashlight on my phone. When I calm down, I put something over my eyes to block out the light. Knowing the light is there, even though I can't see it, makes me feel better. Story 18. I try to sleep in complete darkness because it helps me fall asleep faster and get better rest. But sometimes, I leave a little light on, like from the hallway or a night light, if I am feeling uneasy or just do not want to trip over something in the middle of the night. Like this. Story 19. I used to sleep with my small television on all night without sound when I was a teenager and until I was 21 while living with my parents. I was sleeping alone and hated the darkness. My television was a reassuring presence for me. I stopped that when I started living with my husband, and now I sleep in almost complete darkness. But I know if I ever live on my own someday, I would start sleeping with my television on again. Story 20. I fall asleep listening to Forensic Files play on television. The sound of Peter Thomas narrating is soothing, and it's a fairly darkly lit show, so it's not too bright to keep me awake. Before my dog passed, he was going blind, and full darkness would scare him. He would bark until some kind of light was on, so it was the television and then a soft night light after the television timed out. The night light makes me miss him too much, so the television until it times out is all I do now. Story 21. I slept in complete darkness as a kid. I went to college, and the street lamp shined directly into my room. To this day, I would rather sleep with all the lights on than in even a semi-dark room. Story 22. We have a night light on the stair landing for our little lad. Also, I like a little light somewhere so I can respond quickly if I need to. I don't know if it's a normal veteran thing or a post-traumatic stress disorder thing, but it's the same reason I keep my clothes laid out next to me. Story 23. I don't. I have the television playing and a fake Christmas tree with lights in the corner of my room. The only time I can ever sleep in darkness is when my long-distance relationship girlfriend is with me. Story 24. It depends. I can only sleep in total darkness if I am tired and or safe. I have nights when I just know something's there and have to sleep with a light on. Story 25. I want to sleep in the complete dark, but it's a little frightening, so I just let the curtains slightly open to let some light in. Once I am married, we will sleep together in complete darkness. Story 26. For a while, I needed a nightlight to sleep because I was afraid of the dark as a kid. Now I can't sleep with any light on, but somehow I can fall asleep with the television on. I still have insomnia sometimes, regardless. Story 27. I sleep with my door closed and blackout curtains drawn. I turn on my television to rain, black screen for background noise. My room is pitch black. You can't see anything. I go to sleep so incredibly fast and easily in this state. Love it. Story 28. I do. My eyelids are so translucent that I can still see lights on with my eyes closed. I cannot travel without eye covers because I'll just never sleep. Story 29. Complete darkness. Even I flip my phone in case any notification comes so I don't see the light. My brain listens to a long beep sound when in darkness and I really like that sound. I feel like I am walking straight towards that beep sound and thinking about things like the purpose of life, how my day was, what I have to do after waking, etc. Story 30. My cat doesn't like it when I turn all the lights off, so I've gotten used to sleeping with a dim light on. Some nights it bothers me, and I have to put my head under the covers to fall asleep. Laughing out loud. Story 31. No, some light gets in through the open door and around the curtains, as well as light from the screen on my husband's continuous positive airway pressure machine. It's not a lot, just enough to get my bearings if I wake up in the night. Story 32. I don't because my neighbor keeps his outdoor lights on all night on the safest street in America, and one of the lights happens to shine in my bedroom window despite the blackout curtains. But I'm not bitter. Story 33. I try as much as possible. I'm very sensitive when trying to fall asleep, and having a light on in the hallway or bathroom or something can very easily be enough to prevent me from falling asleep. Even moonlight can be too much. Once I am asleep, nothing wakes me up, though, so I wouldn't care if someone did turn a light on. Story 34. Yes, for me, or at least I try to. My air conditioner is still giving a very light glow. My girlfriend is the opposite. She has never slept in complete darkness, and often with the lights on. This made for an interesting adjustment in our first year of living together. Story 35. If it is not complete darkness, I cannot sleep. I worked so hard over the years to conquer my fear of the dark for this purpose, so I could become the night itself. Story 36. Yes, and I cannot have it any other way. I have blackout curtains and a door stopper so that no light comes in from underneath. It needs to be pitch black and freezing, and I need to blast my rain sounds. Story 37. No electronics. Light on the television. Charging light on my Steam Deck. Other such nonsense. But also, yes, sometimes I do because if it's cold, I'm all the way under the blanket with my head covered. Story 38. We have some night lights, but mostly where some furniture will block them, not near the bed. I often have to get up to let a dog out to potty, and our other dog, a Great Pyrenees, likes to lay across door thresholds or flopped in the middle of the floor. I do not want to step or trip on him. Story 39. Yes, but right now we have Christmas lights on. I woke up in the middle of the night and thought someone was shining a light through the window. Not much longer and it will be dark again. Story 40. I used to sleep with the television on, but I set a timer for it to shut off. Now I just depend on my salt lamp for relaxation. I used to be terrified of the dark because of what I experienced when I was younger living overseas, like ghosts or spirits. But now I just don't feel like turning the light on if I have to use the restroom in the middle of the night. I just get up, go into the bathroom without turning on lamps or bathroom lights, so when I'm done I can ease my way back to sleep. Story 41. No, a bit of light does get through the blinds from neighborhood streetlights and cars, etc. But I prefer that because I usually get up to pee in the middle of the night and have to avoid my dog, who likes to sleep in the most inconvenient spots. Story 42. Nope. I keep a red bulb in my floor lamp. It's the gentlest color light on your eyes at nighttime, longest wavelength, but still provides enough light to see by. Honestly, I like it because it keeps spiders away. They mostly only come out in total darkness. Story 43. When I moved, I got used to not even having the light of a clock radio on the nightstand. Now I can't stand night lights, computer lights, power strips. Story 44. I once lived in a basement apartment, and my bedroom had no windows. My boyfriend loved the pitch black darkness, but I really hated it. Not being able to see my hand in front of my face was really scary. I ended up getting a digital clock so there was at least a tiny bit of light. Story 45. Yes, I do. Cannot sleep if there is light. That being said, I get my best sleep under the stars, which is not exactly pitch black. However, the wind, sounds of nature, and the stars are the best way to sleep. Story 46. It's more for when I wake up. If it's completely dark, I'll end up back asleep despite my many alarms. So I have a Chainsaw Man holographic light on a dim setting lit. Edit. If it wasn't for that, I'd have my room pitch black with blackout curtains and a draft guard blocking the light from under the door. Story 47. No. I used to live in an apartment that was infested with yellow sac spiders. They are nocturnal predators and would come out in swarms once it got dark. I slept with every light on for the entire year I lived there. I moved out over a decade ago, but I still have to have at least one light on now just in case. Story 48. I do both depending on the situation. I went through extreme anxiety and needed to have some light, either a night light, lamp, or TV, and sound like rain sounds to put me to sleep and soothe my mind. Now that I'm pregnant, I'm very much like 10:30 p.m. It has to be completely dark, with my small fan on speed 1 pointed at my feet, and silence. Story 49. I sleep in a sleep mask. I also have a silk hair bonnet, a silk pillow, a retainer, a white noise fan, a continuous positive airway pressure mask, chapstick, an adjustable bed, and a bed jet cooling system. I'm more machine than man, really. Story 50. I don't. I wake up sometimes in the night to use the bathroom or get a glass of water and like to have some sense of direction. Currently using a salt lamp on a really dim setting, actually very relaxing to sleep with. Story 51. I like to wake up based on how light it is outside, so I sleep in whatever light comes through my window. Granted, I live on 2 acres of forest land in the mountains, so that's basically just the moon or the sun. But I did the same living in the city before I retired. I can sleep pretty much anywhere. It's a skill I acquired in the army. Sleep instantly, but it also comes with the dubious skill of going from fast asleep to moving fast in 3 seconds, which can turn into insomnia pretty easily. Story 52. I have the light from the hall that comes through the bedroom door at night. If I sleep during the day, I have it as dark as possible, and the light is off since I work nights. Story 53. No way I sleep without light. I need a little light or I start imagining everything. Like literally everything. You can add Monsters, the remake of The Pope's Exorcist. Like that pile of clothes? Definitely a ghost. A night light keeps me sane. Story 54. Basically, except for the light-emitting diode on our humidifier, I can sleep with lights on. Ever since we had kids, and the baby slept in our room the first month with a lamp. Story 55. I sleep in mostly darkness. I have a color-changing alarm clock across from my bed and some Christmas string lights hung up. Having it mostly dark helps me sleep. Story 56. Total darkness and a white noise machine. I don't have trouble sleeping without these things, but I find that fewer sensory distractions give me, the impression at least, better sleep quality. Story 57. I work nights and I try to get my bedroom as dark as possible. There's only one window and I have a blackout curtain on it, and I'm thinking about putting another one on top of it. Story 58. No, I had back-to-back dogs with unpredictable seizures, which were much easier to manage if I could wake up and see immediately. I got used to sleeping with the lights on. Somehow, now it doesn't matter, and I can sleep with any range of light. I realized I do prefer to wake up as the sun rises, so it's convenient to be able to sleep with the moonlight rather than closing the curtains.